welcome in for those of you joining us on ESPNU as Casey Walker scores his 5th point of the night. It's 11-6 North Carolina A&T alongside Stan Luter. I'm Rich Hollenberg. We are at the Corbett Sports Center in Greensboro, North Carolina for a MEAC matchup between the homestanding A&T Aggies and the Delaware State Hornets. A very meaningful way to celebrate Martin Luther King Day. We'll have more on that later as number 3 Jeremy Underwood gets in the scoring column. That's already the 3rd three-point bucket tonight.
Underwood, 22 threes on the season. Pack, 28. Middleton, 29. 79 of the 98 threes for the Aggies are made by those 3 guys.
There's a turnover and a steal for the Aggies. Middleton had it blocked. Another block by Gray. That's his specialty. Here's Walker to the hole. And one for Casey Walker. What a flurry in that last exchange.
We'll see them next week against Norfolk State, the defending regular season champion. A&T won their 16th MEAC tournament last year. And you're going to see a grinding out style, a team basketball approach in Savannah State. Can't wait to get down to Savannah. They do a great job there.
That's going to be next Monday night on ESPNU. 3 for 6 and 1 for 2, and even 50% combined for 2 clubs that do not shoot the ball very well coming into this game.
A&T shoots about 7th best in the MEAC in field goal percentage. Delaware State 10th best. That's a good percentage shot there.
And Beckford is on fire in the early going. He has 7. Doing it inside and outside, Stan.
Well, Beckford's coming to this game having scored in 11 games in double figures. Had a nice game against Eastern Kentucky with 21. Burly, wide, takes up some space, can play inside as well as outside. Zone out of A&T. How do you handle it if you're Del State?
Here's Walker. He's had the hot hand early. 10 on the shot clock for the Hornets. Wing jump shot, short. And Beckford snares a rebound. He has 34 boards in his last 3 games.
That's about the 3rd possession we've seen out of Delaware State. When we talked about possessions as a key to this game, one and done or a turnover. They've got to be able to score and slow the tempo. This is an A&T pace right now.
And you're going to get Sivaran with the traveling along the baseline.
They call him Birdman here. Didn't play much last year. The last 2 years, they try to get him active. Long wingspan, 6'6", 6'7", can run the floor. They want to try to get him going early. It gives him a lot of energy.
Here's Albert. Walker lines it up, almost knocks it down. Another rebound by Beckford, his 4th.
For what was that, a long-range jump shot? One shot, no second chance opportunity.
Whistle before the shot.
Is first, second team foul. Substitution for the Hornets, number 5, Tyshawn Bell.
Tyshawn Bell comes in. Number 5 for Greg Jackson's club. Here's Sivaran. Brown checking Underwood. And we see zone from the Hornets as well.
Said they've got 3 guys that can bust a zone, having made over 23s this year for A&T.
Back off the mark on that one. Hornets looking to run.
With this lineup that Del State has in the game, they're very small around the perimeter. You look at that, you got guys that can penetrate, but are they going to be able to get the jump shot off? One of those guys is Albert Thomas. They really like this game.
8 on the shot clock for Del State. Now 5. Here's Thomas. Swings it to Walker. 2 on the shot clock. He had it blocked by Sivaran, and it's going to be a shot clock violation. Excellent defensive possession for Cy Alexander.
A very solid possession. You're exactly right. If you've not seen Delaware State, they're going to try to run the clock 20, 25 seconds, sometime about 10, get into their offense. They've got to be very efficient in offense. That last possession, you saw a one-on-one drive, the shots blocked, no second chance opportunity. Good job by A&T.
Substitutions abound. Both of these coaches like to rotate in a number of players. Number 34, Kari Doby, is checked in for Cy Alexander. Number 34 in gold. He's the top scorer off the bench for the A&T Aggies.
Young kid that can make three-point jump shots. Another guy that they want to try to get going early.
And Nick Doyle just checked in the game and garners his first foul. 11:49 to go. The home-standing Aggies have a 16-10 lead over Delaware State in MEAC.
His love for A&T and his love for his family. We're going to certainly miss Franklin McCain as we honor Dr. Martin Luther King today.
Well said, my friend. Back to basketball. Delaware State, 7 missed shots, 4 rebounds, no offensive boards. Here's MJ Briscoe, a freshman who Cy Alexander's really high on, trying to find some more minutes for him.
We keep talking about all these young basketball players for A&T. The MEAC champions lost 7 players last season.
Briscoe inside, nice look to Sivaran, and there's a foul on the play.
Rich, and we continue to look at that shooting percentage. You mentioned a moment ago, Norfolk State, think about next week, Delaware State 4 of 11 shooting. You see that, A&T 5 of 11, but A&T 3 out of 7 from three-point range. Delaware State's got to find a way to stop the perimeter and do a better job in their own half-court offense.
There's Middleton, step-back jump shot, short. And the rebound falls to Kendall Williams, who's checked in for Greg Jackson.
Really like Kendall Williams. Is a good ball handler, can run this basketball team, and also has the ability to make three-point shots. And if they're going to see a lot of zone, they're going to need some firepower around the perimeter.
9 minutes gone by, 6-point lead for the Aggies.
Nick Doyle, number 10, came in against Central the other day, had a couple of nice-looking jump shots. They're going to look for him to score something.
8 on the shot clock for the Hornets. Inside. No good. Rebound to Doby. Tyshawn Bell yet to get in the scoring column. He comes in averaging double figures. That's going to be the second foul on Nick Doyle. So you talk about trying to get him some shots. Pretty hard to do when you have 2 early fouls.
Yeah, and at the pace of this basketball game, you started at the open. You said, looked like A&T may run Del State out of here. Del State was able to score a couple of baskets, and then you've got it into kind of a grind game. The tempo there maybe swung a little bit in Del State's favor. One thing you can say that Del's been able to do is withstand their poor shooting right now and keep this crowd out of the basketball game.
Rashad Pack averaging 17.5 a game. But in their handful of games here at the Corbett Sports Center, he's averaging almost 21 points a game. He now has 8 tonight, and it's the largest lead of the game for A&T, 18-10, 10.5 to go in the first.
Talking about this home court advantage since 2009, A&T is 43-20 at home. They don't lose often in this place.
Both teams coming in struggling. A&T's lost 7 of their last 9. Del State 8 of their last 10. Someone's getting off the schneid tonight.
Yeah, and you talk to Cy Alexander, you talk about how important this game was as they go into a streak of home games and also MEAC conference games, especially the game on Wednesday night against North Carolina Central, their longtime rival.
Briscoe gets his first foul of the game with 10:05 to go. Here's Brown running the point for the Hornets.
Del State will continue to be very patient as long as they can in their half-court offense. They get some good shots like that.
Williams off the back iron. Gray comes away with a fresh new 35 for Delaware State.
Only the 3rd offensive rebound for Delaware State.
And Akinkabe back in there. Remember, he had those 2 early fouls. We'll see if they try to work on him a bit. And they're going to get Brown for traveling. That's the 4th Hornets turnover. Aggies had to win 4 games in 4 days to advance to the NCAA championship a year ago. They were the 7th seed and ended up defeating Morgan State to move on to the NCAA tournament where they face Louisville in the second round after getting that win over Liberty in the play-in game. The first four, as they call it.
And it was a tough road to hoe. They're only the third team in MEAC history to be a 7th seed or lower and win the MEAC championship. Knocked off NCCU, which is a top seed, number 2 seed. Had the tough game in the semis against Delaware State. Again, that Cy was talking about, said we had a lead, and we darn near lost that lead. Got to the championship, a close game against Todd Bozeman's Morgan State Bears, and A&T goes away with their 16th MEAC championship.
Here's Underwood. Nice look inside. Akinkabay couldn't handle it. Second turnover for the Aggies.
Akinkabay doing a nice job battling inside against Gray, number 1.
Here's Doyle, 8 on the shot clock. Patience from Delaware State. Williams off the mark. Gray, the offensive board. And he tried to stuff it back, and he'll go to the line and have to earn it from the free throw strike.
But a great job of going to the glass for Delaware State. We talked about it earlier, only one and done. This time shot goes up with clock. Grabs it with 2 hands. Eventually Gray powers up, and Akinkabay picks up his 3rd foul. So if you're Del State now, you try to attack the middle again.
11.2 points a game, 55% from the floor is Kendall Gray.
Kendall Gray has really come on in the last 2 seasons. Last year established a new Delaware State record with 75 blocks, has 172 on his career. You get a good look there at Cy Alexander talking to this guy about, hey, just take the baseline, keep your hands up, you don't have to foul.
But wide stance he takes at the free throw line.
What I like about him is he's becoming more and more confident. He's developed a little bit of a jump hook, can run the floor, has got excellent timing.
Aggies break the pressure easily, counting down to 8 minutes to go in the first half. A&T's led throughout. Looking for their second win in the MEAC. They're 1-1 coming in. Delaware State 0-5 in conference play coming into tonight. Underwood. They go inside out, and they're going to get Briscoe with a foot on the line. 3rd NC A&T turnover of the evening, but they lead it by 7 with 7:54 to go. The Gold and Blue, ESPN. That SEC game, if you love run and gun basketball, you're going to want to tune into the Tigers and the Bayou Bengals in that one. And in that ACC contest, Stan, Boston College, despite struggles in the ACC, they shoot the 3 about as well as anybody.
Love what they're doing up at BC. This is a very interesting, a new ACC. It's going to be a fight from top to bottom.
Talk about a fight. Delaware State fighting for a field goal.
Yeah, but here's what they do. They don't allow you to get on any runs. They haven't scored a field goal in some time, but A&T's kind of fallen into that pattern. So now the tempo of the game right now is kind of Delaware State's, although they're not scoring.
Greg Jackson now trying number 34, Chris Lewis at the point.
Traveling violation, A&T basketball.
It's Big Monday, presented by Verizon. MEAC basketball from Greensboro, North Carolina. We're inside the Corbett Sports Center. Stan Luter, Rich Hollenberg. The NC A&T Aggies, 14 of their first 17 games played away from these friendly confines. They're happy to be home, taking on a Delaware State team that's looking for their first win in conference.
It's a little trap. Saw it a moment ago out of Del State. They'll trap sometime, come back into man. So they can get a turnover. Not a team that really scored a lot of points in transition.
Nice catch by Beckford. And he's back in the scoring column. Started off hot with 7. Now he's got 9.
Recognize where the pressure was. Severin does a nice job throwing the high-low. You talked about it. A good catch by Beckford. He does the rest.
5 turnovers in the early going for Delaware State, only 4 field goals.
Delaware State's a team not known to turn the basketball over a great bit. They've only had 3 games this year where they've had 15 or more turnovers. They've got to handle the ball and score the ball. They're not scoring.
Here's Doyle. And he gets in the scoring column. First two for Nick Doyle, the sophomore out of Franklin, Virginia. And a 7-point lead for the Aggies and only 3 points for Underwood and Middleton combined. And as I say that, number 3 drops another 3.
Well, Jeremy Underwood told me yesterday, he said, I love it when you come to town, we always win. I don't know about that, but he says, I play good. Well, the green shoes may have something to do with it. A great look, knocks down the 3-pointer.
Don't underestimate yourself, Stan. You're a good luck charm to me, too.
Hey, well, hey, you know, we do what we do.
Double-digit lead for the Aggies. And another turnover, number 6 on the night for Delaware State.
And the frustration for the Delaware State coaching staff continues, where you get great opportunities to score and you have a turnover or you don't shoot the ball particularly well. And that's been the case in a lot of their basketball games. So close, but yet so far away.
Underwood and Beckford have been the offensive firepower, and another 3-pointer for Jeremy Underwood.
Got to come out and contest that shot if you're Doyle. That's one of his favorite spots. The left wing was in rhythm, knocked down in another 3.
He was 5 for 6 in their last game from 3 against NJIT, 12 for 16 from distance in their last 4 games, so he's picking up right where he left off.
He's a streaky shooter, and he's had 4 or 5 games this year where he's had over 3 3-point baskets, so he's not afraid to take the big shot.
Bruce Beckford called for his second foul, so he'll go to the bench for Cy Alexander. Kari Doby, first man in off the bench, checks back in to sub him.
If you're Greg Jackson right now, you've got to find a way to get some offense and then stop A&T defensively.
There's a 3-pointer. First points of the game by Tyshawn Bell.
Really a smooth player. Tyshawn Bell averages about 11 points a game, 4 rebounds, but at 6'7" can step out and make 3-pointers. Talked about A&T playing Georgia Tech. Del State had a solid game against them. In that game, Bell had 15 points.
2 for 5 for Delaware State, and Underwood tried to make it 3 in a row for him. Look at that offensive board by Doby. And Kari Doby will go to the line and shoot 2.
Kari Doby, Stephen Burrow, Maurice Taylor, all 3 freshmen over 6'6", that they feel like have a great upside. See, Doby does a nice job there, goes inside the left-hander, doesn't mind contact, and it's 6'6". Interesting enough, is a kid that can take 3-point baskets, even though Cy's trying to get him to be more of a post-up player or mid-range player, can make threes. Nice touch there.
Yeah, look at that, home cooking. They're not used to that.
And this is from a guy that shoots 37% from the free throw line.
And Greg Jackson, perplexed, to say the least.
Well, he's got a young basketball team, and they're growing pains. They've had a difficult non-conference schedule. They've got to continue to execute. The plan is there. Greg Jackson, 200 wins at Delaware State. He's a proven winner. The guys have just got to step their game up. They'll get better.
Long-range jumper no good. Doby, the one-arm rebound. These two teams met twice last year. Once, as you mentioned, in the MEAC semifinals, where A&T was 10 for 19 from three-point range in that game.
High weave, you look for 3-point shots again.
Underwood short on that 3 ball. Greg Jackson must be seeing 3s in his nightmares when he thinks about North Carolina A&T.
Nice.
Great look inside, and a good foul by Sivaran, too. Official timeout with 3:39 to go. 9 of his points, 3 for 7 from the field. As a team, A&T should think about shooting nothing but 3-pointers. They're 5 for 11 from 3-point land and only 3 for 7 from inside the arc.
And this is from an A&T basketball team that's known to make a lot of 3-pointers. They're 3rd best in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference.
Gray back at the line. He was 1 for 2, now make it 1 for 3.
Going to look at Cy Alexander. One more win, he becomes the all-time winningest tournament coach as far as winning championships. He's already won 31 games in the tournament, which makes him #1. a great job at South Carolina State, was at Tennessee State for some years, now at North Carolina A&T, and got them a title after almost a 20-year drought.
He told me earlier today when he first got this job, he kind of had to pinch himself. All this time on the opposition's bench, and now he's the Aggies head coach.
Well, he helped make A&T as good as they were with the competition when he was at Howard as an assistant, and also at South Carolina State at Howard with A.B. Williamson. He's come in here, grew up in Winston-Salem. He knows about the A&T tradition.
Dobie hustled for the offensive board, went out of bounds, and it'll be Delaware State basketball off the Middleton miss. It's a doubleheader of conference play on ESPNU's Wednesday Night Hoops. At 7, Russ Smith leads the Cardinals against South Florida. Then at 9, the Horned Frogs face the Sooners. Wednesday Night Hoops on ESPNU. Both games also live on Watch ESPN. A big Big 12 game going on at 9 o'clock tonight on ESPN, my friend. Kansas and Baylor.
Hope I can stay up late enough to watch that.
Kendall Gray saddled with his first foul. And now 7 turnovers for the Hornets. A&T trying to capitalize and look out. Kendall Gray, a good job, almost stomped on Rashad Pack.
Part of the strategy for A&T to push the tempo, trying to get the ball down the floor quickly. Nice job there at driving. Got to get down to the defensive stance. 2 guys could have been called for that foul for Delaware State. 2 Hornets stung him.
Pack now has 9 points, all but 3 of them coming from the free throw line so far. Coming up about an hour away, NC State will take on Maryland in Raleigh, North Carolina, directly east of us here in Greensboro. That's at 9 p.m. And then Missouri, LSU, and Georgia Tech, BC, as we talked about earlier. Those 2 games coming up tomorrow on Super Tuesday.
And when you see Maryland, NC State, boy, you just start thinking about 1974 and David Thompson and Tommy Burleson and Lynn Edmore and Tom McMillan, John Lucas, who's from Durham. Oh, my goodness, man. That's what you look at that on Classic every now and then.
Second foul on Siverad.
Nice job against the pressure this time. Gets it in there. You got to power that ball up. Go to the free throw line. If you're Del State, try to get a few free baskets, and then you can maybe apply some pressure. You look for A&T now with the final 2:44 to try to kind of knock Delaware State off their rocker a little bit. If you're Del State, you've got to find a way to score. Cut this 12-point lead down to single digits before halftime.
Gray once again goes 1 for 2 from the free throw line. He has 5, and it's a 12-point A&T lead. Here's Dobie, and how about that? Some range for the big man.
Well, that's what we're talking about. Came in making 11, had 4 threes against Georgia Tech in a game that they scared the Yellow Jackets back in November. That's a good-looking jump shot for the freshman.
5 points for the freshman out of Marlboro, Maryland. Speaking of Maryland and the Terrapins.
Maryland, NC State. Man, you can just see that, can't you? You know, they played that championship game, the 74 championship, right here in Greensboro at the Coliseum. Knocked off UCLA in the semifinals, beat Marquette.
6 on the shot clock. Here's Boyle. Off the back iron. But a fresh 35 for Delaware State.
Delaware State's got to find a way when they get these second chance opportunities to score some baskets. They can't continue to run clock and come up empty.
Nice look. It almost looked like Casey Walker put up an air ball, but that was a pass.
He'll say it's a pass.
Tyshawn Bell, the recipient, he has 5.
I really like Tyshawn Bell inside at 6'7", the junior. I think they got to get him a few more touches. He's a matchup problem for A&T.
And Les Jones is going to get a foul, and we're going the other way.
We're talking about Kerry Dobie. Really nice look, swing the basketball. He knew that was in the moment he took it. A very nice looking freshman. Played for Lou Wilson And he was one of Cy's former players back in the day. And so he's going to be a better player each and every game. He's getting smarter, getting tougher, getting stronger. They're looking for big things out of Kyrie Doby.
Delaware State trying to steal a couple extra points there. They went to the line thinking they were going to be shooting. It's ball out of bounds on the side.
You got to get every point you can in this ball game.
Counting down to 1 minute to go in the first half.
Be huge for Delaware State to score in this possession.
Walker short on the three-pointer. Middleton comes away with the offensive rebound, and he'll get fouled and go to the line and shoot two.
Walker's a very good catch-and-shoot player. He loves the right side of the floor. But what I didn't like about that play was the moment he shot it, you got to be confident it's going in, but he's fading back. Where did the ball go? It went in the same area where he shot it, the long rebound. He could have potentially gotten that offensive glass. Instead, he ends up picking up a foul.
Lamont Middleton, a 6'3", 205-pound senior from the Bronx, New York, bringing some of that Bronx toughness down to Greensboro. Misses the first free throw. He had 20 against FAMU earlier in the conference play. Played all 40 minutes for Cy Alexander.
Yeah, his second most in minutes played in the MEAC, almost 35 minutes a ball game, and they really look for him to score and also his leadership.
And the good news for A&T, they're up 14, and Middleton only has 1 point tonight.
Well, that shows you what Cy's trying to establish as far as balance. 2 or 3 guys stepping up and scoring. We've seen Upchurch score. Pack took him and got him going. Upchurch kind of picking the middle. And then you've got Kyrie Doby picking up the pace as well. A lot of balance on this A&T team right now.
45 seconds left in the half. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Oh, that was almost too easy for Lamont Middleton. Went out of bounds. It'll be A&T basketball, but Lamont Middleton had steal and dunk on his mind.
He did. The 8th turnover today for Delaware game.
Had a career high 21 against Eastern Kentucky earlier this year. He'll ride out the rest of this half for all intents and purposes. He had 2 fouls earlier in the game. So here comes number 3, Jeremy Underwood.
You've got perimeter guys in that can make jump shots. Stephen Burrow, 44, comes in to step out. But you've got 3 guys that can make 3-point baskets if you need to. You've also got a post-to driving kick, too.
Ten to shoot. Middleton forced it up, got fouled, and will go to the line.
It's too dynamic in this A&T offense. You wind the clock down and you put a guy in Middleton who only goes about 6'3", 6'4" in the low block and let him operate there. Something good happens for the Aggies.
79% free throw shooter is Middleton. Looked good on that one. His second point of the night. 8 times he's been their top scorer, and he's one of only 2 players on this Aggies roster stand to start every game this season.
Well, he's been a very solid performer, and the great thing about it is he's led them to that championship, and his leadership is kind of continuing with some of these young guys the Aggies have.
Largest lead of the game. Shot clock is off with 13.4 to go in the first half. 36-20. A&T up by 16. Who do they go to, Stan?
Anybody they can.
The block on the back end by Burrow. Middleton's got a shot. They wave it off. It wouldn't have counted if it went. But still a resounding way to end the first half for the North Carolina A&T Aggies. They're up by 6
from three-point land. Nice shot in rhythm, making jump shots, moving the basketball. North Carolina A&T, 6 3-point baskets. Underwood has 3 of them. The guys are playing solid on the offensive side and the defensive side.
And for A&T, 11 points scored off 7 Delaware State turnovers. Delaware State starts with the ball to start the second half.
And he talked to Greg Jackson, Gerald Wilkerson, Mike Bernard, his assistant Art Tyson, Keith Walker. These are veteran coaches in the MEAC. They're very good staff. They have to make some second half adjustments. One of those drive, kick, get shooters in place like that.
Off, but a fresh 35 because of the rebound from Kendall Gray. 19.5 to go. 30 seconds gone by in the second half.
Delaware State was out-rebounded in the first half. They only had 3 offensive rebounds of their total of 10. Aggies had 16 rebounds, 4 offensive.
Here's Gray, deliberate in the paint, but he comes up empty. And the rebound goes to Pack, and Pack took a shot in the chops. Clock stops with 19:12 to go, and a fresh 35 coming up. After the foul was called on Delaware State, it'll be Aggies basketball.
A couple of excellent opportunities for Delaware State to come out and establish themselves. They've got to find a way to cut this game into increments to get back in it.
36-20, Aggies' first possession of the second half. 1 minute gone by. Good hands by Haywood, knocked it out of bounds. It'll be Aggies basketball. Clock stops, 18:58 to go.
When you're in a possession basketball game like Delaware State likes to play, you can't be 7 of 21 in the first half, and you cannot have 7 turnovers.
Eight on the shot clock. Here's Pack, showing no ill effects from getting hit in the face on the defensive end.
Well, he's a scorer, and you saw it again. Nice little half-court set, just enough room. He gets separation on the jump shot. When he does, he's going to be a very good player. You're seeing that today.
$13 for Pack. He leads all scorers. Casey Walker started the game hot and hasn't been heard from since. Middleton, step back baseline, Jay, too strong. Offensive rebound, Aggies, and the putback by Pack. He now has 15, and the lead is ballooned to 21.
Greg Jackson trying to decide, do I take the timeout? Do I let him work through it? We're down 21. Can we get a basket out of this thing?
Get a foul on the floor. That's going to go on Jeremy Underwood, his first. Hand check on DeAndre Haywood. And that's possibly one of the ways Greg Jackson's hoping to get back in. He inserted number 11 in red Haywood into the starting lineup for the second half.
Haywood hasn't played a lot of minutes, but can score the basketball when given the opportunity.
Inside. And there's Walker with his first 2 of the second half. He's in double digits with 10. Pack. Akinkube. He got fouled and he'll go to the line. Brian Akinkube had 2 early fouls in the first half. Wasn't really heard of much. He only averages 5 points a game coming in, and he'll go to the line and shoot 2.
A nice game on Saturday night. You see Pack make the penetration there. Akinkube goes up strong. He's got to finish those plays. Shoots about 61%. They really feel like he, along with these young freshmen that we talked about early in the ball game, Taylor, Burrow, and Dobie, are really going to help this A&T team not only next season, but definitely this year as they continue to grow and get better.
Charles Burley's first foul of the night. Akinkube, a 6'9", 225-pound JUCO transfer from out of Bowie, Maryland, has his first point of the night. How did Todd Bozeman let him get away out of the state of Maryland?
Still trying to figure that out. Or Fang Mitchell. How about Fang?
Yeah.
In Baltimore. Fang's gang had a nice win the other night against Hampton. Big Joyner Juniors club having a nice season game this year. A little half-court trap here after the free throw. Got to get it over.
3 minutes gone by. It's been all A&T to start the second half. Foul's going to go on Jeremy Underwood, his second. And Casey Walker approaches the line.
Casey Walker at the line for the Hornets.
Walker, a 66% free throw shooter from out of Broadnax, Virginia. Knocks down the first one. He has 11.
I'd like to see him do a little bit more of that, trying to drive instead of just being content to take jump shots. Drive to the hole, take some contact. He's stronger. He looks frail, but he's really a strong kid. Played up in Virginia for Bryant Stitt, longtime UVA star and former NBAer from the staff at ODU.
They were just showing on ESPN Classic Bryant Stitt and his Virginia Cavaliers against North Carolina.
Oh, you watched that too? You watched Classic too, huh? Did you see me that day with NC State? Did you see us knock off Duke?
Oh, look at that block by Kendall Gray. He's second all-time in blocks at Delaware State, and he just had a monster swat there.
Not only did he block the ball in the stands, he hit the player and put him in the stands too. Watch his block, and then there goes the player. That's 2 for 1.
16:37 to go. It's been all NC A&T. They were up 16 at the half. They've extended it to 19 to start the second half.
Out of this now from Del State. A&T are moving around the perimeter. They've got really solid shooters there. They've got to find one.
It's packed short on the three. He tried to get a whistle called, but nothing doing. Here's Burley.
So you had a transition basket and you don't get anything out of that. Then you run your half-court set. You've got to score.
Walker for three, too strong. Akinkabe snares the rebound.
That was a good job defensively for A&T, stopping the transition basket, then being good in the half court.
And they get Middleton for steps. Official timeout with 15:49 to go. A&T showing no signs of slowing down in the second half. Smith came back to school for another season with Rick Pitino, and he has been, in many cases, rusticulous again. Well, the A&T Aggies have been shooting lights out tonight against Delaware State. 7 for 14 from three. They're 14 for 15 from the line, and they're out rebounding the Hornets 21-12.
And that's pretty much been the story this night. And when A&T's shot over 45%, they've been a very good basketball team. They haven't done it often, but tonight, shooting the ball well, handling the ball well. You know, I saw you talking about A&T winning the MEAC and then beating Liberty. I was at that Louisville A&T game up in Lexington, Kentucky, and A&T, you know, gave them some problems early in the ball game. Louisville just too strong down the stretch. Eventually wins the national championship. Got to have more of that.
Nice follow by DeAndre Haywood, and he'll go to the line and shoot two. And now here's a chance, Stan, with Haywood at the line. The two starting big men for Cy Alexander now have 3 fouls. Beckford just saddled with his third. Akinkabe has 3. This could be an opportunity for Greg Jackson and the Hornets to get back in this thing.
And so what I've got to do if I'm Delaware State, I've got to say, okay, let's get our offense going a little quicker, and let's try to look inside out. Try to put some pressure on the young post players of North Carolina A&T.
Haywood goes 1 for 2.
Substitution for A&T number 33, Waylon Severan.
So Akinkabe checks out, and Waylon Severan checks in, number 33, a 6'7" junior from out of Houston.
And what Severan gives him is a guy that can move around the perimeter. So really what they're going to do is maybe use an open offense a little bit more than the post. Good steal.
Here's Haywood, all alone, left-hand jam.
Nice.
3 straight points from Andre Haywood.
Timeout.
And we have a timeout on the floor. A&T wants to stem any hope. Big Monday presented by Verizon. A great way to celebrate and remember Martin Luther King Jr. Along with Stan Luter, I'm Rich Hollenberg, and pretty much from the outset, it's been the homestanding Aggies dominating this one, but A little bit of an opening now for the Delaware State Hornets to get back in it.
What we talk about in the opening of the game, closing basketball games, one of the fears for Cy Alexander. They had a nice lead on Saturday night, but a lot of that slip away. They've lost a lot of basketball games where they've been in it and just didn't finish the last 10 minutes. They don't want that to happen tonight. Good timeout, good basket inside by Gray. Just like we said, they've got a size advantage inside with him. Go to him. Pressure again, 2-2-1 for Del State.
In their 2 MEAC games so far, North Carolina A&T has been outscored by 10 points per game in the second half. Can Delaware State put together a little run? It's a 5-0 run right now.
Perimeter shooter in Doyle. Burley's not going to score. He's going to be a penetrator. Walker's a shooter.
Doyle looked inside. DeAndre Haywood, Johnny on the spot.
Wow, was he ever. Haywood scoring double figures only 2 times this season. That was early in the year against Ceron and Buffalo. Had 11 points each. Not known as a scorer, only averaging 3 a game.
All alone for 3, Lamont Middleton. His first field goal of the game.
And that's what you want from your seniors, to be able to calm the tide, get a big basket.
But Casey Walker comes right back, and he has 14.
And there's another senior making a play.
Middleton. We're thinking about going, can you top this? A 9-3 Delaware State run.
A workable margin for A&T. Got to continue to play defense. And for Del State, play smart, make some shots.
How about DeAndre Haywood for 3? He has 8. And all of a sudden, the Hornets are back in it. Stan, got to correct myself. They counted that last bucket as a 2-pointer. It looked like it was a 3 from where we were sitting. So that's 7 points for Haywood. And it's an 11-point A&T lead.
They've been able to find some instant offense out of Delaware State, and that's what you need. They've been able to put some pressure on the basketball enough to get A&T out of their offensive rhythm. Now you put a guy at the free throw line that's not really shot a lot of free throws, only 60% on the season. So Delaware State, if you can get some stops, you've got to get stops and get scores to get back in this game, and it'll be really easy for them to do that.
Severin rattles home the first free throw. Starter Tyshawn Bell checks back in for Greg Jackson's club. Nick Doyle goes to the bench.
A good look there on the sideline at Mike Bernard. Was a national championship coach in 1989 at North Carolina Central. Greg Jackson, Darrell Wilkerson were all on that staff there. They were honored this past week when the Hornets traveled down to play the Eagles in Durham.
2 free throws go for Severin.
Veteran staff for Delaware State. I like this. Inside out, you get something.
Gray, the bump and the bucket.
Remember we showed you at halftime about getting great inside position, and if you do that, good things can happen to your post. Once again, got low, watch this. Gives you a little hesitation there, drop steps there, turns. We talked about the jump hook there. Boom, that's easy basketball. That's post play 101A. A nice feed, a nice catch, turn and score.
And Cy Alexander gambled a bit, keeping Bruce Beckford in the game with 3 fouls. Now Beckford has 4. He goes to the bench, and Kari Doby checks in his place. And Alexander is reading Beckford the riot act.
Mark that down, 12:49, 48-37 basketball game. Beckford out with his 4th foul. Wonder how long he'll stay out of the game.
Ray can't convert the 3-point play. Pack goes baseline and draws the foul. Rashad Pack will go to the line and shoot.
Well, this has happened far too often for A&T. They've been in a lot of basketball games. East Carolina, the Charlotte game, Georgia Tech, just to name 3. Where they've had chances and did not finish the job.
Rashad Pack at the line for A&T. He'll shoot 2.
They're 1-1 in MEAC play this season. They beat Bethune-Cookman on the road by 3. They lost at FAMU by 10. Looking for win number 2 in conference play.
Clem Johnson's doing a really nice job down there for the A&M. We'll hear from the Rattlers as this season goes on, I do believe.
Pat, perfect from the free throw line tonight. He has 17, and that's a game high. A 13-point A&T lead coming up on 12 and a half to go. Delaware State desperately needs some consistent offense.
Keep going inside. Inside out will get you something.
Catch and shoot for Bell, no good. And Middleton snares the rebound.
See him go up there and grab that ball.
Middleton lost it. And Aggies turnover. 8th turnover of the night. Delaware State with a chance. Deep three with a hand in his face, and he came up with nothing but air. Ill-advised for Haywood. Here's the follow, no good. And Gray clears it for Delaware State. Walker to the hole. No good. And Underwood comes away with it.
3 empty possessions for Del State. Good block.
Loose ball out of bounds. And with 11:27 to go and a timeout on the floor, it's a block party.
It is a block party. We all are invited.
Celebrating his legacy. ESPN Big Monday presented by Verizon here in Greensboro, North Carolina. Certainly one of the hotbeds of the civil rights movement. We talked about it all game, and the only thing that Greg Jackson can celebrate is Martin Luther King Day, because his team has been down 13 this entire contest.
It just gives you chills when you think about the history and where you are and the opportunities that we have because of men like Frank McCain and obviously Dr. Martin Luther King. Interesting side note there, you saw Russell Wilson, his grandfather, Harrison B. Wilson, who was the former president at Norfolk State, was also at Kentucky State many years ago. One of his guys there was Mike Bernard.
Inside, Gray. He was sandwiched by Aggies defenders, gets the foul, and he'll go to the line.
Isn't it amazing how your offense can get cleaned up a little bit when you're able to go inside and have a little balance inside, outside, and your post guys are willing scorers tonight. They know what to do with it. You go to the free throw line, you can score with the clock stop. You make the free throws, you're able to set your pressure up.
Kendall Gray averaging over 11 points a game, just about 7 rebounds a game, 2.5 blocks per game. He's a native of Dover, Delaware, so he stayed home with his Delaware State Hornets. Certainly a 6'10", 240-pound frame had some interest from some other schools.
A lot of guys on this Delaware State basketball team elected to stay home in the Dover, Newark area.
Here's Underwood. Aggies up 11. The lead was as much as 20 and 21. Delaware State has whittled it down. Underwood short.
Good job of coming out and contesting that shot by Bell.
Chance to cut it to single digits as we near the halfway point of the second half. Delaware State looking for their first win in conference. They're 0-5 coming in. Aaron shot. Here's Simmerat hustling down the floor. And he lost the handle. I think he was playing a highlight reel in his head.
Cy Alexander can only say, okay, big fella. There's a guy that only played like less than 100 minutes last year, so he's getting some quality time now. Got to finish those plays, but you love the hustle of that.
You're watching Big Monday presented by Verizon. It's MEAC basketball on a day that we celebrate and remember Martin Luther King Jr. The Delaware State Hornets came into Greensboro 0-5, and they're looking to chop down this lead that A&T has built up, and Nick Doyle's two-pointer brings them within single digits.
Also a native of Virginia, solid three-point shooter. Good block again.
Kendall Gray got it up and sent it back. A deep three by Walker.
Not the shot Del State wanted.
A&T has led throughout. They're up 16 at the half, extended it to 20. And Rashad Pack has been lighting it up all game long.
Have a chance to cut this to single digits, and you take the three-pointer shot. You'll have a chance that after a great block by Gray, his sixth block of the night, A&T comes down and converts, and so you extend the
game in double figures. And you see he's near perfect tonight from the field. 4 for 6 field goals, perfect from the free throw line. Quite a night for number 20 in goal.
He came into this game, his last 5 games, he was 14 to 26 shooting threes. Having another super shooting night.
Kendall to Kendall. Almost the Del State turnover. It'll stay Hornets basketball.
Nice idea, a little wraparound bounce pass. Got to be a little stronger inside Gray.
That was number 2, Kendall Williams, feeding the post to number 1, Kendall Gray.
Good timeout on that run by Greg Jackson. Try to get his team under control. They still got a chance. They've got to execute better now down the stretch.
9 minutes left, plenty of time. They can once again cut it to single digits with a triple. Williams inside. There's Bell with an easy 2.
That's an excellent dribble penetration across to behind the back, and then Bell's got the soft hands to finish.
Underwood across the midcourt line. Kicks it out. Middleton short on the 3, but a fresh 35 with the Sivaran offensive board.
Nice position by Sivaran. A&T will be content to just run some clock right now. Del State's got to play smart defensively.
Williams on the reach out.
You've got guards that can handle the ball and recognize they need to drive the basketball with the clock winding down, or even in the mid-clock, with the rules being interpreted like they are now, the hand check, the freedom of movement. You can score a lot of points, get a lot of free throws down the stretch.
That was a dangerous inbounds pass for A&T. Got fortunate that Nick Doyle committed a foul going for the ball. That's the 3rd foul on Doyle. And Middleton will inbounds for the Aggies.
Look down the stretch of this game. A&T's a 70% free throw shooting team.
Underwood.
But who needs 3 when you got Underwood?
Who needs 3 when you can knock down the 3? 12 points, all on 3-pointers for Jeremy Underwood, the 6-foot senior out of Washington, D.C. There's Bell. Nice stroke from Tyshawn Bell, and he has 12.
I'm telling you, Tyshawn Bell has really played better basketball the last couple weeks. Had an ankle injury, missed a couple of ball games around Christmas time, but has stepped up, made shots, defends, runs the floor well.
No quit in the Hornets.
Well, they won't play. They will not quit. I'll tell you that. Man, their coaching staff won't let that happen.
Down 16 at the half. It's just 10 now. And they have a chance to cut it to single digits again. Bell makes it 1 and done.
This has got to be a very smart offensive possession. Some way the ball's got to go inside. Let Bray or Bell get a touch.
Mismatch. Williams guarded by Dovey. He kicks it out. Doyle, baseline. Short on the shot.
Too many times a day we've seen Del State settle.
Thought Pack was going to take it himself. He looked for the alley-oop. There's a break on the floor, 6:31 to go, and we've got a ball game.
This is last year. They're trying to recover some players, but I just love watching Michigan State play. You know they're going to play tough. They're going to be efficient with the basketball. Applin's having another great season. What can you say about Coach Izzy? So what time's that game?
Journey to the tourney on Tuesday
at 9 o'clock. Game, I might be asleep by now. I tell you who's not going to sleep, Delaware State. They've got a chance to cut this lead again, and you do it by going inside out. They've scored 24 points in the paint tonight. So, again, let the big guys get a touch. Our drive right there and score.
Williams, too strong. Second effort out of bounds, Aggies basketball.
I like the idea of what you've been able to see the last couple possessions is your guards been able to penetrate Kendall Williams, not making score, but getting some post guys in the bin.
And as I was about to ask you, what does Cy Alexander have to do to stem the tide here? And I think we got our answer with a Kinkabe checking back in.
Well, he's got to play smart right now. Keep them out of the middle. If I'm A&T, I've got to start playing to win, but handle the basketball better. You've done a great job at the free throw line tonight, 18 and 19. Make free throws and make it hard for Del State to score.
Middleton goes behind the back and gets fouled on the pull-up jumper.
Fouling Charles Burley, his third.
It's going to be the third foul on number 55 in red, Charles Burley. Only 2 of their last 11 field goals for A&T. Free throw's good. Lamont Middleton has 7 points. Both teams in the bonus for the rest of the 5 minutes and 50 seconds left in this contest. Every foul, there will be free throws. Now A&T 19 for 20 from the free throw line. Make it 20 for 21. Middleton has 8 points.
Substitution for Delaware State, number 10.
And that's a wonderful thing to be able to fall back on if you're a coach like Cy Alexander. Your team goes into a drought shooting from the field, send them to the free throw line, their money.
I'll tell you what. If you can make free throws, with the way rules are now, if you can make free throws, you got a great chance of winning some games.
Look out. Pass, look out. Here's Briscoe, blocked from behind by Gray. At my count, that's 7 blocks for Kendall Gray.
That's sweet. That's just very nice. There's not a lot you can say about that. 7 blocks on the night. Great timing. You take the ball at him. He waits the ball, gets up, and then just very softly taps it, keeps it in play.
Catch and shoot from Dobie, no good. Kinkabe got the offensive board, and he got fouled. I'll tell you what, when you're 6'10" and athletic and have the instincts to block shots like Kendall Gray does, you'll find some basketball team that will want to pay you to play at the next level.
No question about it. He had 5 blocks early in the season against George Washington. In the game a couple of weeks ago against Norfolk, he also had 5. So he set a season high with these 7 blocks. And I'll tell you what, he's doing it very easy. You know, he's not really making an effort. Great timing, run the floor, block the shot, and then try to go back down the other end and score.
And when things are going good, they're going good from the free throw line for the Aggies. Even Brian Kinkabe, a 61% free throw shooter, has hit his 3 free throws tonight. And, of course, he misses that one right on cue.
Big fella. His name is Rich Hollenberg. You look for him.
All's good if they walk away with a win. They're up 13 now, 5:19 to go.
You can't mess around if you're Del State. Every possession's got to be efficient. Go inside, look for the big guy, kick for a shooter wide open.
But they do, and Doyle rattles home a 3-pointer.
And that happens because of dribble penetration. Doyle, a very good spot jump shooter, in range and rhythm that time. Gets a rattle, but it goes. The Institute of Technology, the only independent team in big-time basketball. Todd Bozeman's club, Morgan State, Fangs gang in South Carolina State. So they've got a chance. They're going to be back home to win the season. They've got to play good. But wow, what Craig and his staff have done over the last 14 years at Delaware State has been absolutely miraculous. And one more win, he's the all-time winningest coach at Del State.
And a traveling violation on the Aggies, so it'll be Delaware State basketball.
And this is about in that same MO that you've seen out of North Carolina A&T. They have played a good 30 minutes. They've got to play a good 40 minutes. Last week had a big lead, almost let it get away. They don't want that to happen there. Got to play smarter.
And just to finish a thought on Delaware State's schedule, Stan, if you notice, they're playing NJIT on the 27th. They have a week off after this game. That's good news, win or lose here tonight. They'll get back to basics with some practice.
No question about it. They traveled to North Carolina earlier in January to play Campbell. Been on the road. Central A&T, get home, rest a couple of days, work on some kinks, be a better basketball team.
Gray, interior passing to Bell.
Gray's done a little bit of everything, has he? Scored inside, blocked shots, makes a nice post-to-post pass.
And don't look now, it's a single-digit lead for the Aggies. Here's Pack, blocked again by Gray.
Obviously, Mr. Pack's not watching the replays of these basketball games. You can't drive inside along Gray. Good idea. Go inside here, post to post. See a little bit of a double team. Nice pass, catch, and score.
It's been all gray matter in the paint, pardon the pun. On the offensive and defensive end. 8 blocks for Kendall Gray to go along with 9 points.
You see Gray, because of his defensive activity, now is playing stronger on the offensive side. Gets pushed off the block a couple of steps, but yet wide enough that when the bounce pass goes in, they have to go over his back for the foul.
Kendall Gray at the line for the Hornets. He'll shoot the
Gray at the line. He has 9 points. He made his last 2 free throws. Around and out on that 1-and-1 attempt. 4 minutes to go. What looked like a foregone conclusion is anything but for the Aggies. A Kinkabay shows.
Wow, nice move by the big fella.
First field goal of the night for Brian Kinkabay.
Took it right at Gray that time.
Doyle surveys. 3.5 to go. Walker, baseline, underneath, nice up and under.
Really like it when Walker will drive the basketball long, can elevate, protected on the outside with the rim.
16 for Walker, that's a team high. We have the under 4 timeout, 3:16 to go, and Delaware State has made a game of this, but Brian Kinkabay with one. It's a 2-pointer, they're saying.
His right foot was just on the line.
Got mixed signals from the officiating crew.
Zelton was saying what was a 3 was a 2, but his fingers are short. He got a little stubby fingers, so you couldn't figure out that 3 from the 2. That's what it was. Zelton's a longtime friend, William Humes. You know, William Humes was a big-time football player at North Carolina back in the day. And what can you say about Les Jones, one of the best officials in the business? We've got an excellent crew for this MEAC game.
14 points for Jeremy Underwood, and it's now a 10-point game. Well, you would hate for that single point that was waved off to come into account later in this game, but it's looking more and more like it might. Tyshawn Bell now has 17 with that 3-pointer.
You look at this Delaware State college as this season goes.
Well, Stan, you talked about getting the ball inside for Greg Jackson's club to get back into this game. They did that, but now they're starting to shoot well from the outside also.
Well, the inside opens up the outside. If your inside guys are efficient, you've got to stop that. Then perimeter guys at their spot, they can make shots. Then you've got to defend.
Good job from the Aggies breaking the pressure. Under 3 to go.
Pack's an 80% free throw shooter, one of the tops in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. Underwood shoots 61%. Middleton, one of the better players, also shoots just under 80%, 79.4. These are the guys who handle the ball a lot.
And with the way they're shooting from the free throw line tonight as a team, why not drive the ball?
Good use
5 on the shot clock. They're going to have to hoist it. Beckford from straight away, and a great defensive possession by the Hornets.
Very good defensive possession.
A 7-point game with 2:15 to go. Doyle. In and out.
Not a bad look. Maybe not the exact shot you want, but it was a good look. He had to take that.
2 minutes left. Can the Aggies hang on? This has been their formula so far this season. Getting out to leads and squandering them. Middleton, too strong. offensive board from Pack, and he'll go to the line.
What a key rebound by Pack. Jump shot goes off. One of the smallest guys on the floor finds a way to get inside the bigs, and he'll go to the free throw line.
In between two Hornets. Down around the basket, and Rashad Pack, an 88% free throw shooter this game, increases that percentage with his 21st point.
Cousin of former NBA star and current Oklahoma City assistant coach Robert Pack, so you know he can score the basketball. Played for Isaiah for a couple of years down in Florida. Transfers here, and wow, has he come in and just really lit it up.
A game-high 22 for Rashad Pack. 1:45 to go. Is there enough time for Delaware State down 9? And an unforced error by the JUCO transfer, Charles Burley. A&T has 3 timeouts left. They use one of them here with a $1:39.
Chance to defend that MEAC title.
Well, no secret that North Carolina is a basketball-rich area. Coming up immediately following our game, the Maryland Terrapins, about an hour east of us from Greensboro to Raleigh. They'll take on North Carolina State right here on ESPNU.
If we hurry, I can get there for the second half.
Well, this one is not over. A minute and a half left. A 9-point lead for the Aggies. They have the basketball and are content to take the air out of it just a bit.
I think if you're Del State now with a clock under 15, you have to play this solid. I don't think you foul now. You've let too much time go now. Got to have a solid stop.
7 on the shot clock. Underwood to Beckford. His first 2 points of the second half. Bruce Beckford has 11. And that one might have put it out of reach.
You're right. Spacing and then penetration, and Beckford gets a nice roll. Del State can't waste a lot of time now.
They have to shoot threes at this point.
Threes and drives and get fouled.
Here's Doyle for 3. In and out again. And Middleton comes away with it. And it appears that A&T will walk away with their second conference win. Foul on the floor, 25.9 left. An 11-point Aggies lead. That one's going to go on Kendall Gray, who has had a sterling evening.
2 of the legends in North Carolina A&T. We sit on their court. Cal Irvin, Don Corbett. Don Corbett won 7 MEAC championships literally in a row. Cy Alexander building his own legacy here at North Carolina A&T. I think you're going to hear some great things out of these guys this year. And don't give up on Del State either.
Kincaid misses the first.
I would not have shot that basketball with the net like that. Would have had him sit back, relax. He's a 61% free throw shooter. You want to get him comfortable. Don't think that had anything to do with the shot, but those are the little things that you do down late in the game. You want to make sure you end the game strong.
Kincaid short on the second attempt.
Gotta hurry.
Another rebound for Gray. 9 rebounds to go along with 9 points and 8 blocks for Kendall Gray, but it's going to come in a losing effort. Delaware State will not foul the final 5 seconds. In their first home game of the conference schedule, A&T hangs on for the 11-point win over Delaware State with final score 66-55. The Aggies improved to 6-12 on the year and 2-1 in conference.